From the Woody Allen Foundation.
Available now from Zigzag.
Now, before I get to the nitty-gritty, let me address the elephants in the room for your greens. Your so-called Manuel's theory ain't a theory. Not ever since we came into the picture. You've heard the news right. All those press headlines that appeared around the 80s and 90s, the bulletins you grew up with, are press conferences with your national leaders. So was whatever half-baked script we give to our ambassadors abroad. All were true, despite them sounding straight out of them pulp tabloids. Yes, me and the rest of the Wayfinders ain't from this world, and yes, we're also the ones responsible for causing the Second Great Reset. Technically, the Order of Solomon fired the first shot, but that's beside the point. Finally, yes, we called it a second around these parts because the global collapse you grew up with was our second attempt. But we'll save the reset stuff for later down the orientation. You can ask the neophytes and adepts if you're curious. I reckon you were confused as kids when it happened. Right into as the world around you collapsed. Economy plummeting, civil wars, secessions, unions, and revolutions, with anarchy in the streets, culminating with the Swiss Alps turned to atomic waste. Sure, it's a concrete reality to some of you, but we now have sprouts who weren't around during the reset. The new world you're forced to live in after the 80s has always been their status quo, spared from the pandemonium you've been through. Feeling old knowing there's a generation out there that never had chickens in their entire lives. We're still sorry about that, by the way. Collateral oversight. With that out of the way, Suraya! Who am I? Mousouzoku Suraya. Call sign, Shining Witch. Plenty of ways you could slice what it means. Roughly translates to Star of the Delusional Tribe or Light of the Paranoid Ones. Take your pick. And surname first. Tradition around these parts. So just call me Suraya. As for my call sign, I earned it during the Fehe Terror. Locals dubbed me the Radiogo Taltosh. No need for excessive titles and honors here. At best, we just use call signs for documents, but it's tradition ever since we declassed everything post-reset. As for the whole Ave Primor salute, leftover habit from our early days, I allowed it to continue for morale reasons with you fanboys and gals. Am I human? Partly. What am I exactly? Ain't specific. My father's human, in a sense. Working too long with anomalous materials changed him. As for my mother, she looks human enough. Though her heart's a ball of yarn, her skin is silk, and her bones are ropes. Ink flows through my veins. You can visit the exhibition in the infirmary if you're curious. As for my partners, some of them are human, some of them are hard to explain without going on a thesis defense soliloquy. Magic and powers. As naturally as I breathe, it exists. From where I came from, it's a normal part of life. Won't go further into details on what I can do. That'll be for the metaphysics brief. Some pointers for the curious boys and gals. I got the natural energy field all over me. Shields against anything you could throw at. Blunt objects, explosives, directed energy beams. How much can it take a beating? Depends on whom. One saw one sunny day took a missile to the face without a scratch. We're still hardy even if it ever goes down. Ditto, depending on the guy. I once survived taking an entire clip of 40mm flak. Took a month to recover and regenerate after that. They glued me back, ink and all, like old Humpty Dumpty. Still good as new. Right, longevity's a perk too. I was already in my 20s when I transferred over to this world, so that makes me somewhere above a century. Still feeling good if I do say so myself. The Quasitum Wayfind in the Continental League's a big racket. Especially when you de facto own a third of the world. Honestly, around half if you take into account our observers and aid. A fact we're still proudly presenting on our landing page. Kooks and schmucks in the League of Nations labeled us a shadow government. Sounds about right. Except for the part that we're operating without borders and lines. Our organization ain't about administrating. That only comes naturally when all your clients are gymnastic monkey suits. We don't care about petty politics and economics. No, Quill is foremost a solutions provider. The Quasitum Pack, that's our union for clients. Call it customer solidarity and membership privileges. Let's look over at some of our clients. The United Kingdoms of Cambria, Elba, and England. Dietland, Zambezia, Molossia, Tianzia, the entirety of the Balkans. Pretty impressive portfolio. Yugoslavia is our first and oldest client. Helped the Oriuna King back in 1922. You can see our handiwork elsewhere if you look closely enough. The sea and shard, for instance. We provide solutions to whatever problems folks have, from coups to skipping entire human civilization cycles. Funds, guns, rare resources, knowledge. Hell, we even got more esoteric solutions. Being the only ones with practical magic in this world gives you one hell of an edge. Rest assured, all of Quill's activities will be explained in depth in the next lecture. As for what I do around these parts, I ain't sugarcoating this one. You know what we do, you know the kind of show we're running. We've quit masquerading since the second reset hit. To put in layman, my ministry deals with propaganda and enlightenment. Our job's telling the common folks what and how to think, coordinate our clients, and organize knowledge. Indoctrinating the plebeians are just a smidgen of what we do. Ironically, most of our work goes to wrangling our own people. Quill's mostly hands-free. We may let our clients do whatever they want with our solution packages, but they still need to organize. Converge to a single shared goal. Can't run a prim and proper business if your partner's acting like flying monkeys. Our jobs rely on that organization through every means possible. Newspapers, books, television, websites, radios, our IntelliStore machines, whatever you need. There's a reason we have a dedicated psychotronics division. It's easier to just bridge the language and cultural barriers when you could just transmit into their heads through the monitor screens. But before you get to know the ins and outs of where you're working and what you will be dealing with, you gotta know how we got here, which is why I'll get the share of the limelight for now. How all this started, my share in this odyssey. And heard you were asking, what's this legend of the Shining Witch I've been hearing? Ask, and ye shall receive.